Hello. Welcome. So glad that you're here and joining us. If you get here late, just hop back in and catch up on whatever you missed. We are going to be talking about back to school essentials tonight. Who is ready for back to school season? I am a little bit ready and a little bit not ready. I hate for summer to end, but I am really ready to have people out of my house so it stays clean and I'm not doing dishes all day. But I digress. So, my name is Ashley Purdy. I am coming to you live tonight from Gainesville, Florida. And I am a teacher and a mama to 3 little people who all go to school. So, everything that I talk about tonight are things that we do in our house on a regular basis. These are things that are tried and true at my house. Now, I'm not saying that they are the best way to do things. I'm not saying they're the only way to do things. I'm just telling you this is what works for us. So, you might have something else that works. There are hundreds of different ways to do things. So, I'm here tonight to share what I do and hope that it helps you. Please ask any questions as we go. I'm also going to be recording this for our YouTube channel. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm really sorry, but I'm not going to be there to answer questions live. But you can post a comment and we will hop back in and answer that later. So tonight I'm going to be following an outline. So if you're a note taker, great, feel free to take notes. But if you're someone who is like doing laundry or washing dishes while you're listening to this or watching it and don't really have like pen and paper handy, I'm going to post a link to my outline so that you can just have that as a resource. And it's going to have everything we talked about tonight and also all of the products listed at the top. So if you're like, oh, I need to know everything that you talked about so I can just add that to my cart, I will have that at the top for you. So we have some people join. Thank you so much for showing up. I am in the bathroom tonight. We had a little scheduling snafu. There are people at my house, so forgive, the doorknob and the door behind me. And if it sounds a little echoey, that's fine. We're going to jump right in. So I'm going to start just from like what we do when we wake up on a school day to what we do when we go to bed on a school night. I'm a linear thinker, so that works for me. If you have any questions, make sure that you're typing them in the comments. If I don't see them, I'll either go back and answer them later, or one of my many friends who are resident experts can feel free to jump in as well. Thanks, guys. So in the mornings, oh my gosh, it is so hard to get back into the swing of things when that back to school alarm goes off. Either you're not used to getting up that early, or you're not used to like getting up early and being like, get dressed, brush your teeth, eat breakfast, pack your lunchbox, get your backpack ready. There's just so much to do. And at my house, we have to be like ready to go around 7 a.m. And that's a lot to do in the morning to get 5 people out the door. So one of the things that I think really helps is to have your diffuser set up. Now, I'm in the bathroom and I forgot to grab my diffuser, but Young Living has so many beautiful diffusers and a new one that just came out that I'll come back and talk about in a minute. Have your diffuser going in the kitchen or the dining room, like wherever everyone is in the morning. And if you can get up before the kids and just get that started, like 10 or 15 minutes to just really get it flowing. Peppermint is great for getting people alert and focused. All the citrus oils are so good at influencing your mood in a good way. So mixing up some of those kinds of things and having that going can really help. You just get it in the air with your diffuser. Everybody's smelling it as soon as they get there or as soon as they get in the room. So have something going in your diffuser. Tip number 1 for the mornings. I think music is really helpful. Some kind of like energizing, happy playlist. My kids have their own playlists, so they love to say like, oh, put on my playlist and fight over whose turn it is to have their playlist going. But have some music going that can just get everybody happy and in the right mood, just really positive and excited about their day. And then I also have 2 oils that I like for the morning. Endoflex is one, and this is great for balancing hormones, and I'm going to talk about this a few times tonight, as well as Peace and Calming. This is another one that I'll talk about a few times. Now, I like this in the morning. It sounds maybe counterintuitive because you want people to like get up and going, but I like it for my cranky kids. If you have a kid who's like not really cranky in the morning, maybe go with Endoflex. But if you have somebody who's really cranky in the morning, maybe mix a little of both of these or do Peace and Calming. I think that really helps just improve everyone's mood. And feel free to put it on mom and dad too, because sometimes those mornings are rough. Can I get an amen? So glad to see other people joining in. Okay, so as you're getting ready, have that diffuser going, swipe some oils on some people who need just a little happiness boost, have some music playing. Before you walk out the door, you want to make sure that you are hitting everyone with some Thieves. Now, this is actually Thieves diluted already for my kids. It has this nifty roller top. Thieves is a really hot oil, so you want to make sure it's diluted because I have put this on my kids not diluted, and it's just a lot of really like warm spices, and it feels really hot. So this is already diluted for my kids, already has a roller top. You can really swipe this anywhere. Soles of feet, we do back of neck, like as we're walking out the door. You can also add a little frankincense to this. That's a great immunity booster that I know a lot of people like. So we like to do that on everybody as you walk out the door. Here's some frankincense you can add. You want to make sure that you are really preparing for those back to school germs because they are no joke, especially if you've been home in the summer and haven't really been in like a daily environment with a lot of other people. Everybody's bringing these germs in and your immune system may have kind of like not gotten used to those germs as much. So make sure that you are really covering people with some Thieves and a Frank. Now, another thing that we do, because hello, there are things that people pick up at school besides germs, things that make you itch. And so I have this, that's upside down, just in like an old spray bottle that I've mixed together. I spray this in my daughter and son's hair, and actually both my son's hair. And we also spray down backpacks and lunch boxes, anything that goes to school with them that little tiny bugs could stick to gets a spray of this. Now I will share this recipe and it's in the outline for the notes. I throw in any of these that I happen to have. Now, oil recipes are kind of like, it's the difference between like cooking and baking. So baking, you want to be very specific about what goes into something. Cooking, it's kind of like a little this, a little this. Does that look good? Does that smell good? No, let's add a little more. So don't stress out if you don't have all of these oils. But if I have everything, here's what I add. Tea tree, lavender, purification, peppermint, cedarwood, rosemary. If I have all of those, I toss them in. If I don't have some of those, I just toss in what I have. Now, I also put in a little sprinkle of salt because oil and water don't mix together. So that salt will help the oils mix in. And then I just fill to the top of my water bottle with some distilled water. And then before I use it, I just give it a quick shake. It smells really good. I also like to add some Young Living conditioner to this, just like a little tiny bit at the bottom, because then it can serve as a detangler on my daughter's hair as well. The boys don't like that as much, so sometimes I make it with the conditioner and sometimes I don't. It's whatever you want to do. So that's I don't know if I'm allowed to say the words. Sometimes we're not allowed to say certain words, but I'm going to say that's the lice prevention spray that we use at my house. And it seems to have worked for us. We had several lice scares in my kids' classes last year, and none of mine got lice. Praise the Lord. Again, that recipe is in the notes that I'll post the link to in the class. So if you didn't catch that laundry list of oils, don't worry about it. So morning time, we had the stuff to help cranky kids, the immunity roller, and lice spray as you're walking out the door. So as we go to school, drive to school, drop our kids off. So what we really notice a lot at the beginning of the school year is a little bit of those first day, first week jitters, maybe a little of like, I don't want to go, or can you come stay with me? You know, sometimes it's hard for little people to just jump right into this brand new situation where everything is different. So we have what we call Brave oil. Now, in my house, it's actually labeled Sweet Dreams because we use this on my daughter at night. When she gets scared, she might have bad dreams. So you can use it for lots of things. And our Brave oil is Valor and Peace and Calming. And sometimes I add in some frankincense too because frankincense can help with anxiety. So I like to keep this in my purse those first few weeks. And as we're at like the car drop-off line, if someone starts to get a little nervous, Just be like, oh, look, I have the Brave oil. Like, you're going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And they swipe a little Brave oil on and feel maybe a little more prepared for the day. Last year, my daughter, she was like raring to start kindergarten, not nervous at all. But her friend was super nervous about kindergarten. So she said, can I make my friend a Brave roller and give it to her for school? So she made her friend a Brave roller, and it was awesome. So this is Valor, Peace and Calming, and Frankincense. So this is our Brave roller. I also have let my son take this to school in his backpack because sometimes he would get a little nervous after the school day started. So I was like, just keep it in your backpack. And my teachers always know that we're oily. So I'm like, my kids have stuff in their backpack. They'll just get it if they need it. So if you're nervous about that, just have a quick conversation. As a teacher, I'm like so okay if a parent tells me that their kid has a way to fix a problem that might come up on their own. Like, don't be afraid to talk to your teachers. They're going to be fine with that. So that is all the stuff that we do like leading up to the school day. Now, my kids are away from me for like 7.5 hours, maybe longer. So I want to make sure that they're prepared for anything that comes up during their school day too. So we arm them with some things in their backpack as well. So here, let me grab all my stuff. I actually had to take this out of my son's backpack. You can see how much of it is left. This is his Focus roller. He had this at school for days. You know, he is now a 2nd grade boy, but sometimes sitting in a seat all day after you've been footloose and fancy free all summer is a little bit of a challenge. So this was what he asked to make and keep in his backpack. It's his Focus roller. And what do we put in this? It's a bunch of different ones you could use. Some good Focus oils: peppermint, cedarwood, orange, vetiver, and there's actually a Young Living kid oil called Genius. I don't have that, but that one is like specifically for supporting the brain, so that would be another good one for Focus. So this, I believe, was peppermint, cedarwood, orange, and vetiver all mixed together. And if he felt like he was just having a really hard time focusing or getting easily distracted, he would ask his teacher if he could go grab his Focus roller, swipe a little on his neck. He just kept it in the pocket of his backpack. So yes, Focus is good for grown-ups too. I'm not very good at scrolling on the comments, so I'm not ignoring you. Chime in as much as you want. We will see it. So Focus roller, great for the backpack. Brave roller if they feel like they need it. Also, we talked about germs, and I don't know if you've been in a school lately, but we're basically bathing children in hand sanitizer. And if you want to do a little fun research before you go back to school, look up the details on these standard hand sanitizers. They're basically ruining everyone's endocrine systems. We do not want our children bathing themselves in that. And I have volunteered in my kids' classrooms. The teachers make it sound amazing. My daughter's kindergarten teacher called it the magic soap. Who wants magic soap? What kindergartner is going to say no to that? Everybody wants magic soap. But no, we don't want our kids to have magic soap. So I get these. They have a big one, and I get these little ones, and my kids have them in their lunch boxes and their backpacks, and I keep them in the car, I keep them in my purse, I keep them in the diaper bag. These things are everywhere. They smell delicious. There is nothing in here that's going to kill your kid's endocrine system or your own. So I have strictly, instructed my children to say no to magic soap and yay to Thieves hand sanitizer. So they know. They'll just say, no, thank you. I know there are some people who've said their kids have given a little lecture to everybody about why hand sanitizer is bad. So, sometimes that happens, but people need to know. So this goes in the backpack, also lunchbox, wherever. Another thing that my kids keep in their backpack this is from a backpack, animal ointment. You can see it's kind of cracked in the top. This is what is the word I'm looking for? Antibacterial ointment that you would use on a boo-boo of sorts, kind of like a Neosporin. It comes in a huge container from Young Living. We got these little lip gloss containers, and we put them into these little ones so that we could keep them in backpacks. So if they get a scrape or a cut or something, they just take this and swipe a little bit on. And again, we don't want any of that gross petroleum stuff rubbed all over our skin. You know, your skin is your largest organ, and we absorb things through our skin all the time, all these things in the environment. So you really got to be careful and pay attention to what's going on those skins. And so this animal ointment, yes, it's okay for people too. We use it almost exclusively for the people in our house, although we do use it on the dogs occasionally. But it's great to put in a little container like this to keep in the backpack. I'm going to come back and talk about this again. This is called Ningxia Red. They come from Young Living in these pouches or in like a big bottle. A pouch is 2 ounces. That's like a normal amount that you should have every day. It's like a, oh my gosh, the words have left me. Antioxidant. Sorry about that. It's like an antioxidant, immunity booster, good for everything, great for eye health. I have a great eye testimony with this Ningxia. It is also really good for a couple things at back to school. It's going to help with energy. It's going to help boost immune system. It's going to help with focus. It's going to help build those brains. So I like to throw these in my kids' lunch boxes. So they'll have one of these. They don't get it every day, and sometimes they'll get it in their lunchbox and they won't drink it. But I would say maybe like 3 times a week, I want to have this in their lunchbox and have them drink it. It's really good. It's really good cold. Some people even freeze it and make it into like a little slushie. So Ningxia Red pouches is another thing that goes to school with my kids. Now, this is really cute. Are you ready? This is still in the package, a diffuser slap bracelet. And this is part of our giveaway for tonight's class. So maybe your kid doesn't want to say like, hey, can I go to my backpack and get my focus roller or draw attention to themselves that way? But you can have a little bracelet like this, or they make like paracord ones, or I have some necklaces. My daughter has one of the necklaces that we have that you can put oil on. You can just slap some peace and calming or some valor or some peppermint for focus, whatever they feel like they need, into a bracelet or necklace. And then they just have that all day. And I do this with my own necklace. I'll lift it up and smell it if I'm having like a stressful day and I have peace and calming in there. And so my kids can know that they can, if they have something like this, just, you know, give it a little sniff when they feel like they need a boost. And that way they don't have to draw attention or get up and go get their rollers from their backpack or whatever. So this is something that will be in our giveaway for tonight's class. There are a few different colors, and they come with these different pads so you can switch it out. So you can say like, hey, let's use blue for focus and white for something else. So that's another great thing to have to send to school with your little people. Okay, so we talked about before school, during school. Now let's talk about after school. So how many of you who have little people in school or have experience with little people in school have noticed that, especially at the beginning of the school year, when they get home from school or when you pick them up, they are suddenly like little nightmares. And you're like, oh my gosh, number 1, please tell me you didn't act like this at school all day. And number 2, what has happened to you? Like, please, Jesus, return my children to me. Is that happening to anybody besides me? Because I was like, whoa, what is going on? So, sorry, I'm reading the comments. I get so distracted. So, my friend Sarah Mutter, who's here, has a degree in psychology and told me last year about this thing that I researched. And it's totally real, and it's called after school restraint collapse. Basically, your kids have been sitting in school all day after being footloose and fancy free all summer. They've been holding it together. They want to impress their teachers. As a teacher, we hit those expectations real hard at the beginning of the school year, and we set the bar high, because if you don't, like, it's harder to go up than it is to come down. So at the beginning of the school year especially, the kids have been working super hard at following directions, staying quiet, raising their hand, being polite and respectful, and all these things that we want them to do. And when they get home and they're in their safe space, it is just like, whoa. Their brains are just like so overloaded. Their bodies have need to get off some energy because they've been sitting at a desk all day. So this after school restraint collapse, totally real, and you got to find ways to work with it. Otherwise, you're going to be a crazy person. So this is what I did last year, and then I found worked for us. Again, find something that works for you. We did car pickup. So I actually walk and pick up my kids because car pickup traffic is a nightmare. And I actually picked up my friend's kid as well, and I did the same thing for her because I was like, if you are getting in my car after school, we don't have the space for this kind of attitudes. Everybody is getting the same protocol. So here's what we would do. As they would get in the car, I would have a healthy snack for them. Just something small, but something good for them to munch on while we're driving. Just kind of get some good energy in them. I liked things like nuts, fruits, pretzels, just things like that. Some kind of good snack and a Ningxia pouch. So at the beginning of the school year, I don't recommend putting this in lunch boxes as much. Use it after school as a way to help them combat that after school restraint collapse, because this is going to give them just good energy. It's going to support their bodies. So they would get a Ningxia pouch. We call this Ninja Juice at my house, Ninja Juice. So they would get Ninja Juice and a healthy snack. And remember that Endoflex I talked about? I said I would talk about it again. This is we call it the whiny oil because it helps balance your hormones. So when kids are getting super whiny, we swipe this on and it helps balance everybody out. So they would get snack, Ninja Juice, and everybody just picked this up as they got in the car and swiped their necks. And I could see a total difference when we started doing this. Now, that after school restraint collapse, it doesn't last all year. So, it got better and better as they got into the new schedule and got the new routines down. So we didn't have to do this all the time. But at the beginning of the year, this year, I am totally prepared. This is happening from day one. I'm not going to be surprised by that craziness again. Some other tips to combat that are let your kids let off some energy after school. Don't start homework right away. Give them a little bit of a brain break. This is hard for me. Don't ask them a ton of questions. I'm like, hey, how's school? What'd you do in science? How was lunch? Who'd you play with on the playground? Just back off. Think about when you've had a really long day at work and you just get into your quiet car and you just have a little bit of time to decompress. Our kids, they need that. So don't be grilling them with questions about their day as soon as you pick them up or as soon as they get home. So just give them a little bit of space. Give them some oil, give them some Ninja Juice, a snack, a little playtime. Then you can ask them about their day. So those are some things that you can do to help with that after school restraint collapse. Okay. Tell me if I'm going too fast or if I need to repeat anything. I want to be real respectful of your time and not waste a lot of time on other stories, but I want to make sure everybody's getting the information too. Okay, so we've had our brain break. We've had our healthy snack. Everybody needs to pray because it's homework time. Now, homework last year for our oldest in first grade was more homework than I gave as a fifth grade teacher. So I needed a lot of homework strategies last year. One, some calm music seems to help. I play calm music in my classroom when my kids are independently working, so that makes sense to kind of have it on during homework time. You also can use that diffuser again. Same oils we used for focus. This is going to sound familiar. Peppermint, cedarwood, orange, vetiver, genius. If you have that Kid Sense oil, genius. You can also roll any of those on your kids if they need it on their skin. Just set it up in the diffuser in the homework area. Whatever you can do to get everyone just primed and ready to focus on some homework. They're not going to want to do it. And guess what? We don't want to help them. It's homework is more of a chore for me than my first grader. So I would use my Endoflex and my Peace and Calming on myself for homework time. So definitely use what you can to just prepare everyone, especially at the beginning of the year, for all these things that we haven't been doing in the summer. I made my kids busy boxes at the beginning of the school year with like handwriting and math facts and sight words, and they are like pretty much still intact because who wants to do that stuff in the summer? Like, not a lot of us. Maybe you're better at it than me, but we just love to have our summer break. So getting back into all of this at the same time, it's just really overwhelming. Think of it even as an adult, like coming back from vacation and going back to work, like that's hard. So think about, as like a 7-year-old and having to get into this routine again and have all this new stuff. So just be hitting your kids and yourself with oils, doing everything you can to help build them up and send them out so that they can be super successful. Okay, how's everybody taking in the information? Again, if you weren't here at the beginning, I'm going to post my notes, my class outline in the class, so don't feel like you've missed anything. I've got all this information typed up and ready for you. Okay, we've made it through the day. We've made it through homework time. Hopefully everybody had a lovely dinner, relaxing bath, and now it's time to get ready for bed. You really want to make sure your kids have a good night's sleep. As a teacher, I can totally tell the difference of my kids who come into the classroom well rested versus not well rested. It is just such a difference in what their brains are able to handle when they have had a good rest. So there are so many different sleep oils. I mean, there's just so many different combinations and different oils that Young Living makes. This is what we have used since we started with oils, and this is what we still use 2.5 years later. So we hit the diffusers in everybody's room with these two guys, lavender and cedarwood. It's hard to see. There you go. These have been our favorite sleep oils from the beginning. There are so many different ones. So if you have used these and they don't work, please don't say like, oils don't work for sleep, because there are so many. Remember I talked about that Young Living Kids line with Genius? They also have one for sleep called Sleepy Eyes, and we've used that one too, and that works well. There's Dreamcatcher, people like frankincense, I think orange some people use at bedtime. So many different sleep options. We put lavender and cedarwood in everyone's diffuser. We also have a sleep roller, which I don't have because it's in their rooms. Y'all, my 2-year-old, if I don't give him his sleep roller at night, he is a delayed speech kid. He doesn't have any words he doesn't have many words, but he will point to his sleep roller until he gets it and he rolls it on. Okay, so like this has been his routine since he was 6 months old. They roll it on their feet, they roll it on their neck, they get their sleep oil, which is diluted lavender and cedarwood, and they sleep so well. These two oils are what got us into Young Living and oils in the first place. We did not have good sleepers. Our kids were terrible sleepers. Lavender and cedarwood were a game changer for us. So if you aren't sure where to start with sleep oils, try those. Ask somebody, type a question in the comments. Like, we're so happy to help you. Jennifer said vetiver and cedarwood. I've never used vetiver for sleep, but that makes sense because vetiver like calms down your brain, which is why we have it in our focus roller that my son takes to school. See? These things can be used for so many different things. Also, Young Living just this week released the cutest kids diffuser. Not just for kids. I would love this for myself. It's a little owl. It's called Feather the Owl. I can post a picture, but look. How cute is that little guy? Not only is it a diffuser, it also has white noise options. It's got like birds and waves and all these amazing things. Y'all, if you put that in your kids' room, like they are not going to let you forget to put the sleep oils in their diffuser at night. So get yourself a feather owl. Feather the owl. Okay. Let me just breeze through these questions real fast and make sure that I haven't missed anything. Sarah asked, how long did it take you to develop this routine? So last year, I really honed our school routines because I had 2 kids in elementary school. My youngest son is going to go to preschool this year, so we'll have 3 in school. But having 2 kids in elementary school was just a lot to manage. My daughter before that had just been in pre-K, which was, half a day, no homework, just a lot easier to manage. So last year kind of kicked me in the butt, and I was like, we got to figure this out. So that's when I really started to develop these routines for us. And like I said, we hit them real hard at the beginning of the year, and then we're able to back off a little bit on some of them, especially that after school restraint collapse one. Thank you guys for commenting. If I have missed any questions, like I said, I will definitely go back and answer, or somebody else can feel free to jump in. Okay, I don't think I have missed any. Crystal, yes, you need like so many of those owls. They are adorable. Okay, that is, I said I was going to start from when we wake up to when we go to sleep. Everyone is sleeping great now because it's the end of our school day, getting a great night's sleep and ready to tackle that next day and start everything all over again, right? So let's talk about giveaways. I have 3 back-to-school survival packs to give away. Now, this is actually missing a couple things because some things are still coming in the mail. But I have 3 of these cute little things. They got some school supplies, your Ninja Juice pouch, a diffuser bracelet. There's a lice spray recipe in here, but I'll also post that in the class. There will be some oil samples of peppermint and peace and calming, because those you can use for multiple different things. A brochure with some roller recipes for you. So many things. Like, it's just going to be a nice little sample of some of the stuff we've talked about so that you can start your back to school season like you want to start it off on the right foot. So if you want to enter the giveaway, I'll have a separate giveaway post where you can comment with your favorite takeaway from the class, something that you are like, I'm totally doing that. I cannot wait to try this. And then if you want a bonus entry, then you can invite 5 people to the class and just type their names or tag them in that giveaway post, and you'll get a bonus entry for the giveaway. The class is available through the end of the month, so I will do the drawing on the 31st. I think that's next Wednesday. If you're watching this on YouTube, sorry if you missed out on the giveaway, but we're so glad that you saw our video, and we are happy to answer questions in the comments. If you are not a Young Living member, then come join us, come join our team, come join our family. We want to get these oils into your house because, let me tell you, it has made such a difference in the things that we do and how we approach things. If you want to know how to get started, you can ask the person who invited you to the class. If you aren't sure who that is, then just leave a comment or message me and we will get you to the right place. Not only will you have access to all of this stuff that we've talked about, but we have a wonderful community called Rise and Flourish, and you can ask any question there. No question is too dumb. There's so many people to help. It's just a really wonderful place of education and support, and you want to be a part of it. And we want you to come and join us and be in our Rise and Flourish family. If there's anything I forgot, I will post that later. I am so thankful that y'all have joined in and chatted. If we missed anything, like I said, I'll jump right back in and answer some comments. This is also going to be posted on our Rise and Flourish YouTube channel. So if you have people who aren't on Facebook and you want to share this information, I will post that link and you can just zap that to them and they can watch it on YouTube. So I appreciate y'all's time. Thank you for joining in. I hope that you all have a great back to school experience and enjoy the rest of your summer, however long that is. Bye.